Hello everyone, Batasai here from Southern Painting again. After posting my first guide on how to magnetize the new Knight, I got a few questions and I would like to have them answered. From the last time I have actually set up my proper camera to do this, so you won't have a shaky image with a cell phone. Anyway, the first question I got was basically how do you make sure that you can actually use every possible choice of, the battle cannon or the huge melta and so on. Also, I got questions about how to magnetize the carapace mounts, basically the missile silo and the autocannons. Well, the thing is, you actually have to magnetize this. As you can see here, here is the top carapace, because this hole with the knob that's on these parts when you cut it off the sprue, they don't match because the little knob here is too small, so it'll basically just wobble around and you'll have to end up gluing it. So what I did was I drilled the hole a little bit bigger to put a 3mm magnet right here and a 3mm magnet right here. I basically just cut off the knob and placed the magnet in a hole right where it was, and thus you can still turn it since it's magnetized. Both work pretty fine. Sorry that you can't see the magnets quite clear because I have already primed my Knight for painting. Moving on, we have the battle cannon. This is the shield for the battle cannon. I have not glued on the cannon as it is yet, but that's just good because I want to show you. As you can see here, I've put a piece of plastic card in here and placed a magnet here. The magnet is just for extra safety because this particular piece actually sticks on by pure friction. There's a small click when you assemble this, so it won't fall off. Also, here's a small magnet in order to, right just in the middle of it, it's a 3mm magnet in order to place the ammo piece right there. So you have the entire battle cannon. This becomes swiftly replaced for the melta gun, or the melta cannon. What I did here, again, just as with the sockets, I just used sprue pieces. Here, I actually did myself a favor before I glued this whole thing together, because this comes in two parts. It's split down the middle. I placed a piece of plastic card on the inside so I could easier put down the sprues that holds up the magnet. And basically, the same principle. The magnet holds it together, like so. That was that part. And then people asked about the different faces. Here is the actual model. Right in the middle of the forehead, I drilled a small hole, 3mm, in order to place a 3mm magnet. You can use, there's a ridge going through the entire head. You can use the bottom line as your alignment for the drill, and you just place it in the middle of the ridge, and basically it becomes invisible. If you would actually use this as, I wouldn't recommend it because you'll tear off the color. You could paint it as a lens for the Mechanicus type of Knights, but you'll just wear down the colors because you'll switch on faces with the magnets and so on. Then you took the actual face. Let's see here. There is also a ridge that is supposed to be in the ridge that's originally on the head. If you just cut away the bottom part and use that as well as an alignment for the magnet, then you can just magnetize all the faces. Here is the old face that was in the original Knight kit, because the other Knight I have has a different face that's glued on, so I thought it would be fun to just have all of them. And the two new faces, basically. And why would you do this? Why go through the extra hassle? Well, you might want to, have one of the Knights as a Knight or as a Baron, a King or a Baron, and then it might be fun to just, switch faces for them so you make a difference on them. And then the last magnetization I did on this was actually this little part right here. This is the little piece that holds the shield in place. Again, here, you want to differentiate between the Knights. Here are the two shields. On the back, there's the piece that holds it together. Basically, there's a knob that you put in there and it fits perfectly. I cut this knob off and placed a magnet there instead. I used a 3mm magnet, 1mm thick. And here, I placed a very flat 5mm magnet. Just basically dropped it in, it will align itself. You might want to, use the end of a paintbrush, to make sure that it's really straight down in there. Fix it with super glue. I used the Loctite super glue. Don't have the bottle right here, so I can show you. But I'm not going to do any endorsements. They don't pay me to do this, so screw it. So basically, here, one shield. second shield. And this way you can actually differentiate your knight even further. This is one of the new weapons that's for the knight. It's the whole Gatling cannon. I didn't place any magnet here because you don't need to magnetize this piece. I just haven't assembled it yet because it's going to be painted in different setups. Here is the shield. It's going to get glued on later because I'm going to paint it a different color. All the blacks are supposed to be metal later on. And the Gatling cannon is right here. And you just glue this together basically because this weapon will never change appearance. It will look the same way all the time. You just need to magnetize the socket right here, as I showed you in the first guide, in order to fit on the knight. Another thing I didn't mention is that you should think about is the polarity of the magnets. If here is the knight, these pieces are magnetized. There is one magnet here and one magnet there. Now I'll use the chainsword because this is the one that will switch sides most often. You have to make sure that the polarity is the same on both sides. This is very important because otherwise you basically lose out on the Gallant model, because then the chainsword is right here and you have the power fist right here. Now you're wondering, why is there only a knob? Where's the fist? Well, I actually magnetized this too because I want to be able to turn my fist so it doesn't have the same static pose all the time. So I drilled a hole, put a 3mm magnet in there, drilled a hole in there, 3mm magnet, boom. And you can twist and turn this as well, and it holds very nicely. So this is basically what I did. Nothing more, nothing less. What I also do on my knights, I did it on this previous knight, I put cork on the base. Quite high cork. I think this is almost 1 centimeter thick. This gives the knight a very, it looks more imposing when you have it a little bit of height. I'm sure some of you have seen my older knight. Same thing down here, as you can see. Oh, sorry. There's cork on the base. The knight becomes a little bit taller, looks a little bit more imposing. As you can see, on the battle cannon right here, I've done the same magnetization as I've done on the new one. There's a magnet right here in the middle, and of course this piece is magnetized. That's it. That's all I do. Alright, so I hope this guide was as useful as the first one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.